Hi girls, so we're going to learn how to turn the seed into a tree. The first thing we're going to do is under this, you'll notice there's a triangle. We click on that and we're going to use shape keys. So the first shape we're going to make is the seed, so that's the basis. I like to work with key 1 and key 2 because for some reason key 1's a bit glitchy, so we're going to work in key 2 for the tree. So for the seed, I want to go to edit mode. Click on here to make sure we're selecting a face. Click E to extrude and S to scale down. Now on the other side we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on the face, click E to extrude and S to scale down. So we've created our seed. To see what it will look like in the finished product, go to the spanner, click Add Modifier, click Subdivision Surface, and you'll notice that's the seed shape. You can edit that however you like. Let's take the modifier off because I think it's easier to work with the square shapes rather than the subdivision surface. Now we're going to go to key 2 because we're going to grow the seed into a tree. Let's go back into edit mode, make sure we're selecting on a face. I'm going to click the top of it and click E to extrude out. So bring it up. This will depend how tall you like to make your tree. You can always scale it down later. And if you click scale, you can make it smaller as you go up. So as I showed you in our last tutorial, we need to make branches come out of this. So to do that, we can use the knife tool over here or click K. Divide the top into 4 sections. Make sure to click enter after using the knife tool. Now we want to select one of the faces. Click E to extrude up. Now you want to move them out so it looks more like a tree. So press G and then whichever way you want to move. So I'm pressing GY and then I'm scaling it down. Clicking on the face, moving it, scaling it down. Now using K, of course, we can cut the face again to make more trees. Select the face, extrude up. Now something to consider is you can actually scale it in a certain direction to make sure that every cut turns into a square. So you see at the top there it's square, it's not rectangle. So when I extrude up, extrude up, clicking SY to make it slimmer like that. So E to extrude, SY to slim it down, and then we're moving it using GY. E to extrude, SY to, SX to slim that down, and GY to move that over there. Okay, so now that's a lot more of a tree-like shape. If you want to adjust it, you can always use the S tool on any of the faces to sort of adjust it to how you like it. Make the shape look a little bit more irregular. Now you notice down the bottom that the seed shape is still present, and that's not really what we want. So all you need to do is click on the face on either side. Make sure you're moving it along the correct axis. You can actually bring it in like that, so it no longer looks like a seed. Now let's go to the bottom of the tree, and once again we're going to use K. Go across, enter, K, go across, enter. Click on the face, extrude it out, slim it down, and move it across. This is just to give us some roots. Okay, so make sure all of this is under key 2 or the next part won't work. Now we go into object mode, you'll notice it shrinks back down to the seed. To change the seed into the tree, you just need to change the value. So if you notice, as I increase the value from 0 to 1, the seed shoots up into the tree and the roots grow out from the bottom. Now how you animate this is we pull up our animation bar at the bottom, make sure you're selecting the object, put the blue bar where you'd like it to go, hit I, and then click Lot Rot Scale. Oops, that's wrong. Sorry. We start off on 0, then we click I here, then we move the blue bar along, and that's when we turn it into 1. And we hit I on the value. Now if you click play, it grows into the tree. So the next thing we want to do is create a whole forest of trees growing up from a seed into a tree. So to do this, we press Shift D to duplicate, then we move it across, you position where you'd like it. So using Shift D again, you can create a whole lot of them. Try and keep them on the bottom plane, otherwise it's going to look a little weird. Remember, you're going to be filming this from a particular angle, so always think about which angle you're going to be filming the trees on. Now when we press play, all of them grow up at once, which is great, but that doesn't look very realistic, so we want them to grow up at different times. So click on a seed and just move the keyframes slightly, so each one is in a slightly different position. So you can adjust these however you want. And now when you go back to 0 and press play, they should all grow up at different times. Obviously, the bigger difference you make in the between the keyframes result in a much more dramatic difference in growth pattern. So let's try that again with a bigger difference between the keyframes. And there you go, the trees are growing up differently.